Welcome, it's denome. This video is going to be an update on my personal portfolio. I'm not gonna tell exactly what I'm holding in my bags right now. In the waiting, this is not that kind of video, but I can say that I'm down about 50% from my all-time high. So it's not great, it's not ideal, but it's not the worst situation in the world either. I have been accumulating, and then the prices went even lower. I have been buying, and then the prices have been going even lower, and then I have been buying, and then the prices have been going even lower. So that's basically where I am at currently, minus 50%. It is what it is. Could be better, could be worse. Made some mistakes, trying to learn from those. I don't know how much down you are, but what I can say is I'm sorry about the last video that I made. I made the video here because I got quite bullish because there was a lot of FUD on the crypto market, on Bitcoin during this time here. And once we had this break through that channel, I thought we had this retouch on that support line, and then we were gonna go to higher highs. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. The stock market just kept crashing down, and we had unprecedented 8 weeks of red candles on Bitcoin, and that was pretty devastating on my portfolio and on many other people's portfolios as well. But now we're here to pick up the pieces and talk about where we are heading next, because if you give up at the bottom, that's basically the worst decision you can make, because then you miss all of the upside that you might have on the next potential bull run whenever it happens. But right now, technically, we are in a bear market because we had a lower low. So technically, we are in a bear market, and that's a situation that you have to acknowledge, that technically speaking, this is a bear market. But how long will this bear market last? That's something up to speculation, and that's what we're basically gonna talk about today. Anyway, that's the situation. Here we are. If we take a longer view on the Bitcoin chart here, I've drawn these lines here. I don't know if this make a lot of sense. Some people say you should never draw straight lines in a logarithmic chart, but to me these lines make a lot of sense, so that's why I'm using these as an example. If you want to take a look at some curved logarithmic curves, you can take a look at those as well. They're basically the same idea, what I'm sharing here anyway. If you look at the curved ones, this should be the bottom. But if you just take a look at what's happening outside, if you take a look at outside the window and you are talking about the impending recession, impending depression, even the war, the energy shortages, the disruptions in the supply chains from China, all these things, I think it's not reasonable to think that we're just gonna head straight to the moon from here. I think it will take a little bit more time than that for us to really start to recover. But to be honest, a lot of the altcoins are down so much that if you just accumulate at these times and you don't look at the price too much, you could make a lot of money in let's say next 2 to 3 years. But just in the short term, the idea that I'm currently subscribing to, by the way, the reason why I haven't made videos, I think you should know about this, is that once I made this video being pretty bullish at this time, once we broke through up here, well, that was the wrong move from me, and I can say I don't like to be wrong, and when I'm wrong, it takes a toll on my confidence, and if I don't have confidence, I don't want to make videos. But I have made constant updates on the Telegram channel here, and I navigated through all of the things that happened with USDT, UST, the Luna fiasco, and even what's been happening in Celsius platform. I've been covering these in the Telegram, and this is a free group that you can join, and you can see these announcements, and then you can also join the free chat and talk about things in the markets if you want to. The links are in the description if you want to subscribe to the Telegram announcements. It's just that I don't want to make that many videos right now, or I'm not making that many videos right now. I would like to, but I'm not making the videos that I would like to make right now. So if you want my updates, Telegram is basically where I'm currently sharing the most up-to-date things on the market from my point of view. Anyway, if we circle back, this dotted yellow line here, once we go below it, it's a big chance that we have this big move to the downside that we have had in the past, but we did not have that to this yellow line yet. But if we take a look at the monthly chart, maybe this could be the bottom, because if you take a look at the shape of this red candle, it is the same shape we had here in 2020, and it is the same shape we had here in 2015 that marked the bottom of that particular cycle. So it could be that we are in the bottom already, but if I look again outside the window and I think about the overall market, the rising interest rates and the housing market, especially in the United States, being as high as it is compared to the actual wages of people, I think there's a lot more down to go. So that's why I'm not exactly buying the idea that this is the bottom here yet. So I don't know, maybe it could be, maybe not. I'm still a little bit cautious, because what I would really want to see is just this massive complete devastation. And yes, we had a lot of devastation in the crypto markets already, but Bitcoin has never seen a recession. Bitcoin has never seen a depression. And if the real markets are headed towards a recession or a depression, all of these charts, all of these lines, all of our ideas mean nothing. Because if people are scrambling to buy food, they're not going to think about risky assets like crypto. Maybe Bitcoin is a good idea on that time, but risky assets like these altcoins are probably not on the top of the mind that people have. So for those reasons, the altcoin market could be still a little bit shaky. But in my point of view, I see a lot of blood on the streets. That's why I'm currently buying more. That's just my thinking. And the idea that I'm currently subscribing to is the one that Jim of All Trades, he has the YouTube channel. He shared this this theory, which is Elliott wave theory, and this chart here is called ending diagonal. And what he is predicting, if this will happen, is that maybe Bitcoin will go to about $34,000, $36,000, and then another leg down during about September of this year to about $20,000 or $22,000. And that would be an ending diagonal. And from there, we would have another bull market. And also, if we try to align the Bitcoin chart here with something called Wyckoff accumulation schematic, this is basically the chart. So this is the accumulation phase of the Wyckoff theory. So if we take a look at what Bitcoin has been doing and we compare it to this theory, this here would be this downturn, and then this up would be this up here, and then we had this move to the down, which would be this ST, and then a move to the upside, which would be here, and then we had this move to the down, which would be ST in phase B, and then all kinds of shenanigans and bullshit, and then one final move to the downside here, which would be about $22,000 in September. That's basically the idea of the Wyckoff accumulation phase. So both the Wyckoff chart, if this were to happen, and by the way, if this were to happen, we would go to about I don't know, even $40,000 if this Wyckoff theory would happen, and then a move to the downside here, almost $20,000, and from there we would start another spring, another bull run. But all in all, I don't think the bull run is here yet. Maybe this could be the bottom, maybe I'm just talking bullshit, but this is from my point of view that maybe the bull run is not exactly here yet. Maybe we will have a relief rally, and it would make sense because now we're building this channel here as well, that maybe we go and visit this maybe 36,000 again. This is lining up with the theory that Jim of All Trades had touched this line here, and then a massive move to the downside to touch this yellow bottom line here as well. That's kind of the idea that I'm currently having, but I'm still accumulating some of these altcoins, and maybe when we touch the 36,000, I will be selling more again. I cannot exactly predict what I'm gonna do because I don't have a fixed plan. I also react to what market is doing and try to plan ahead, but then when something happens, I do change my plans whenever something happens. So if I say something now, it might be different even tomorrow if we have new information or a new announcement from the Fed or the ECB or whatever institution out there. So that's just basically what I'm currently, the idea that I'm looking at that is probable to happen. And maybe starting next year, we could start another bull run, or even later part, maybe Q4 of this year, we could have another bull run. But anyway, right now we are in a bear market, so looking for another lower low, in my opinion, makes sense. And just calling the only bull right now, I just don't see it. Again, with all the things that are happening, the war, energy shortage, the rising interest rates, even the 10-year and the 2-year bonds in USA are flipping. I don't know what they call it. I don't remember the name. Anyway, the interest rates of those two bonds have flipped a few times now, which usually signals a recession or depression. And I think that's where we are headed. And I don't know what Bitcoin will do in that kind of situation. But eventually, when the worst situation happens, that's the best thing that can happen. Why? The reason is, after the worst things happen, then people no longer have to be afraid of it. Because when the worst things, when the worst thing that can happen in the market happens, then people are like, oh, okay, it happened, but we are still alive. So I have all this cash sitting in my bank account. What should I do with it? Because they don't just want to leave it there, because eventually the Fed will have to start printing money again, especially if we are going into war, because during the war, that's when we have more money printing. If we have another disaster like the pandemic, they will have to start printing money again. That's what governments have always done in the past. They will not just be like, okay, we will just cancel government programs and make the government small again. That's not usually what governments do. So eventually, it's very likely that they will start printing money again. But just in case I'm wrong, I just want to have a cash position as well. So I will probably try to keep that about 35-40% of my portfolio in cash, and other things in the crypto markets. I'm talking about crypto. My overall portfolio, of course, maybe you have heard about it from the Telegram, that I bought land, and I have a real estate project that finished last year. So I have diversified a little bit into other things as well, not only crypto, and I have bought gold as well. So all in all, it's a bear market, right? So you just have to weather the bad things, but also look for the good opportunities out there. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the update. Let me know in the comments, how have you been? How much down you are? Have you been able to hedge against this downturn? Unfortunately, this move already surprised me, but luckily I had that hedge so it's not completely terrible. But I don't see, like, some people are calling like all these altcoins are going to absolute zero. I don't think that will ever happen. Only with some altcoins, if the development team completely just leaves the project, that's when they can go to zero. But a lot of these altcoins, they will eventually rebound as well, so just keep that in mind as well. Anyway, I think that's enough for me for now. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, consider clicking the description box and joining the announcement channel, as well as the chat, so you can actually talk about these things with other people. Anyway, that's it. See you in the next video.